What is up, my dudes, and that one girl who wants to see if I know how to count to 5? I'm about to impress you, one girl. This is Bikes, Beards, and Brews. Let's kick that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we kick this one off, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. New videos are dropping weekly. Ring that bell, you know when they drop. Let's get the other stuff out of the way. Want to save 10% on a Cardo communicator or save some money on some Beyond Riders gear? Then you should definitely check my referral links down below. Want to support me and all my do-gooderness like these cool guys here? Bam! Then you should become part of the Brew Crew and join the coffee page down below. Want to know why I'm asking you for money? Well, next to those 10,000 Amazon affiliate links that also go to a good cause is a link explaining what I do with your money. Get it, got it, cool, let's move on. Alright guys, so today we are going to be talking about the top 5 things I want to see from Harley-Davidson in 2025. Now this is a lot different than a lot of the other videos that you're seeing out there right now. A lot of people are trying to predict what they're going to see from Harley-Davidson in 2025. Let's be honest, we already know pretty much everything we're going to see from Harley-Davidson this year. There's going to be new color combos for all the bikes that already went through all the updates, like the new road glides and street glides that have their new fairings. You're probably going to see the trikes get upgraded fairings so they now match the stuff that's already been done to the road glides and the street glides. And you might see one or two other nuggets drop out here and there, but let's be honest, that's the stuff that they're really going to push the most this year. Upgraded fairings so all their road glides and street glides look exactly the same and it's streamlined, and new color combos. The thing I want to talk about are the 5 things I actually want to see Harley-Davidson do, which realistically they probably won't be doing this year. If anything on this list hits, hell yeah, hallelujah. Maybe they've been paying attention, I don't know. But I don't foresee it. It's just a top 5 that I would love to see happen, and I'd love to see if some of you guys are on the same page as me. So let's go through this top 5, and when we're done, sound off down below. Let me know if any of this stuff piques your interest, or if there's other things that you would like to see. Alright, so let's start with a simple one, and this is going to be number 5. Simple, but not simple. I'm talking about adaptive cruise control. Now, adaptive cruise control has been around in cars for a little while now, usually something a little bit more higher end, but it's definitely working its way down the food chain, and you're seeing it in a lot more vehicles. It is a relatively new technology when it comes to motorcycles. I've only really seen it in a few different brands. For those of you unaware of what adaptive cruise control is, let's say I set my cruise at 70 miles an hour and I am cruising down the highway and everything's cool. I start coming up to another vehicle that is in front of me, and that vehicle is doing 68 miles per hour. Instead of me just ramming into the back of that vehicle, or me having to readjust my cruise or tap on my brakes or come out of cruise, my bike will see that and readjust. And depending on where I have set my adaptive cruise, I'm either 1, 2, or 3 vehicles behind the one that's actually in front of me, space-wise. I think this would be awesome. Now in heavy traffic, this is fairly useless, but in light traffic, if you're doing like a big road trip like I like to do in the summer, and you've got like a little bit of traffic here and there, and you just want to cruise and you just want to go and you just want to stay with the flow of traffic, you're not trying to like be a throttle hero, or you're not trying to like just sit there and readjust all the time, this is a great idea. You could just set the cruise and go. You come up to a car that's just a little bit slower, you're fine. You drop out into another lane, your bike automatically starts accelerating again, getting you back to that other speed. This would just be absolutely awesome. And like I said, a lot of bikes don't have this currently. So if Harley got out in front of everyone else and like did this would be awesome. Now I'm not saying put this in like the Lowrider ST or some of those cruisers, but put it in your bigger touring heavyweight bikes. Throw it in your street glides, throw it in your road glides, throw it in your bigger trikes. This would be a game changer, and this would be absolutely awesome to have. Now number 4, I've talked about before, and that is the Harley-Davidson Bronx. Come on, Harley, let's just make this happen. I'm not a fan of the name. You know, if you want to change this to the Harley-Davidson Boston, I'd be a little bit happier, but I'll settle on Bronx too. That's fine. Overall, this is an aggressive looking cruiser. I like this bike. This thing just looks awesome. And with that RevTech engine in there, it's going to have at least 121 horsepower and at least 93 foot-pounds of torque. I'm saying that because I'm looking at the specs for the Sportster Sport. Oh, that's... Sorry, that is an ugly bike. Anyway, if you gave it the same specs as the Sportster Sport, it would have 93 foot-pound of torque and 121 horsepower. Now, this would also be a great addition to the Harley lineup because this would be able to go toe-to-toe with the Indian FTR. Now, the FTR, for those of you who are not aware, it only has 87 foot-pound of torque and 120 horsepower, and that's across the whole line. If you look at any of the models, they all have the exact same engine with the exact same specs, which is kind of silly. The FTR, the base model, is actually lighter than the Sport, yet they both have the same engine with the same horsepower and the same torque. So technically the cheaper, crappier model goes faster than the Sport one. Good job, Indian. You suck. But yes, if you were to do this with the Bronx and put it out there, you would have a competitor that could go toe-to-toe with that FTR, as well as some other bikes in some other brands, like right across the board. This bike, the fact that it got canceled, I feel, is just awful. They really should revisit this and bring this back. And hey, you don't even have to put the same engine that you have in the Sportster Sport in there. Use the RevMax that you have in the Pan America. That one clocks in at 95 foot-pound of torque and 150 horsepower. That would absolutely blow the wheels off of any FTR on the road currently. That would be a sick bike. So come on, Harley, make this happen. Give us the Harley Bronx already. Let's do this. All right, number 3. This is another one that I've actually visited before, and I do feel it bears repeating, and that is the Harley Penster. Now, for those of you not aware, around 2007, Harley-Davidson was developing a reverse trike, and they have 2 of these in existence in the Harley Museum. I have personally seen them. They don't look too bad. I wouldn't mind taking these for a ride. But they decided to shelve this whole project. And I think this is absolutely horrible because right about that same time, Can-Am put out the Spider. And recently, Can-Am has really invested in the Riker, which is a lighter, cheaper version of the Spider. And right now, there is really no competition in the market for reverse trikes. So if Harley was to get into this market, they could definitely take Can-Am's lunch money, because let's be honest, the Can-Am Spider and the Can-Am Riker, first off, they're fairly ugly. Now, I realize beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You may be looking at this Penster and saying that is ugly as hell, and you may go, well, I like the Can-Ams and, you know, whatever. However, I feel like the Penster is a better looking reverse trike. Now, the Riker Sport, which is the middle of the pack version that you can get, comes in at $13K. It has 82 horsepower and 58 foot-pounds of torque. So again, we're going back to the RevMax and the Sportster Sport. Sportster Sport, which has 93 foot-pound of torque and 121 horsepower. So this thing, you put that engine into the Penster, it's going to blow the wheels off of this Can-Am's like Riker. It's just going to completely toast it. Now you can go up to the Can-Am Spider RT, which is a bigger, heavier weight sort of reverse trike. That comes in at $20K. It has 115 horsepower and 96 foot-pound of torque. If you're sticking with that RevMax engine, you're perfectly good here, and you are competitive. And if you came in a price point between $13K up to $20K, you would be competitive, especially if you could keep it around, like, say, the 15 to 16K mark, because then you are more expensive than the Riker, but you're offering a better product. Let's be honest, the Riker is mostly plastic, and it's just not a good looking vehicle. And let's be honest, when we're all going to these bike rallies, when we're out riding, you're seeing more and more of these reverse trikes. This is what people are getting into. This is what people are riding. So this is a market that Harley really should be tapping into. This could be absolutely beneficial for them, especially when it comes to Harley. They have a vast aftermarket community, so like you can get all kinds of different parts. With these Rikers, there's not much out there. It is hard. I have seen people who own Rikers that struggle to upgrade these things. So, you know, if you had a Harley that you could truly customize and make your own with more horsepower, more torque, just a more aggressive look, this thing would really crush it, and that would be absolutely awesome. I'd love to see Harley do this. Now, I've also spoken to people that are giving up 2 wheels and they're moving to a 3-wheel bike, and they are on Harleys and they're on Indians, and they're choosing to go to Rikers and they're choosing to go to Spyders instead of like the Harley offering of a traditional trike. And there's a few different reasons for that. First and foremost, the prices. Again, a Spyder RT, you're looking at $20K. The absolute cheapest Harley trike you can get is the freewheeler. That's the one without the fairing, no radio, no nothing. That is $32,000. So you're talking about a $12,000 difference between just getting a Spyder and getting the base model of a Harley. If you guys had that competition where you had something a little bit smaller and it was the reverse trike, so people had options. They can either go for a fully dressed trike or they can go for something sportier in the reverse trike. You would just be crushing the market. Harley, make this happen. All right, number 2 on the list. I would love to see bikes coming out of the factory with 131s and 135s. It is just long overdue. Currently, the biggest engine offered from the factory when you're buying from the floor is a 121. Harley, you can do better. Put the 131 in there, put the 135 in there. Now, I know this isn't going to be super high demand, but it may over time, because think about this. This is going to be more affordable. Just to break this down for you, if somebody buys a Road Glide, they're already into their bike $27,000, give or take a few dollars. If they were to get a Crate 131, they're talking about $7,500. If they got a Crate 135, they'd be talking about $8,000. They could also go for a big bore kit, and that is $4,000 or $4,500 respectively. Now, that is without all the parts, labor, like all that other stuff. So you're into this engine alone for over $10,000. So if I go in and I spend $27,000 on a Road Glide, I now have to drop like another $10,000 to $15,000 to get that up to a 131 or a 135. That is insane. Harley, just put the 131 in there. Put the 135 in there. Make them race editions. Make them like super sport editions. There you go. Throw the SS right on the side of the thing. Like Road Glide, Super Sport, Street Glide, Super Sport, Lowrider ST, Super Sport. Like, let's do this. Plus, the other thing is, let's say I do buy one of these bikes and I do decide to go get a Crate 131 or a Crate 135. Now I've got an entire engine just sitting there that is, it's a waste. I bought this bike, I have this brand new engine that I'm now going to try and sell, hope somebody will buy so I can recoup some of my losses by putting this bigger engine in there, when I could just go to Harley and get the 131, get the 135 in a bike. Let's do this. Give us a super sport line. And at the end of the day, this is still going to be cheaper, because think about it, Harley would not be putting the 121 in there, the 117 in there. They would just be putting in the 135. So yes, the price would be a couple thousand more than what you're seeing now. You'd probably be looking at CVO prices, and you're not getting a CVO, and that's fine, because this would be the super sport line. Harley, do this. Make this happen. This would be awesome, and I'm sure a lot of people would love to get that. It would just simplify things so much more for us. Do this. Do this. All right, and the number one thing, and I feel like they could really do this, like number one and number two, I feel like these are simple. Like, these are simple things that Harley could be doing. But the number one thing I would love from Harley this year is to make a revival that is a Springer. I love Springers. I love the way Springers look. They are just awesome looking bikes. They've been gone long enough. Give us a revival Springer. That would be so badass. Make that happen, Harley. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, Springers ride like crap. Yes, so what? Here's the thing with Springers. They handle like crap. They're usually not as comfortable, but they look damn cool. And that's the trade-off, and that's what makes it worth it. Harley, give me a Springer. Make it a revival. That would be awesome. I want to see this happen. Do a revival on, like, what was it, the Crossbones? That would just be sick. Make us a sick looking Springer Crossbones revival. That would just be awesome. I would be first in line to buy that. I want a Springer so bad. Like, these things are just great looking bikes. And I would love one with some of the newer technology, the newer engine, but, you know, a nice updated Springer front end that is well tuned and ready to go. Make it happen, Harley. Let's do this. All right, guys, that's my top 5. What's your top 5? Sound off down below. I'd love to know. And who knows, maybe someone from Harley's paying attention and looking for some ideas. Harley, seriously, hire me. I got you. I will bring a wealth of ideas. We'll make this happen. We'll do cool things. Come on, let's do it. Aside from that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share this video with friends, share it with family, share it with that one dude you know who's like, oh, I don't want a reverse trike. Seriously, get the Springer then. Let's do it. He loves this stuff, trust me. And I'll see you all on the flip side.